If someone asked you, what's the greatest product ever made, what would you say? The automobile? The television? The computer? It has unlimited productivity. And it's designed to function indefinitely. Would you like to guess what it is? It's you. What's more, there's only one of you. That makes you unique, one of a kind. If you had a one-of-a-kind Rolls-Royce or a one-of-a-kind Picasso, would you give it the very best care? Of course you would. Then why would you do any less for yourself? Especially when you have something of far greater value, your life. Your life is far and away your most valuable possession, and yet you don't possess it. It's a gift, a very fragile gift, on loan to you only for as long as you care for it. In order to care for your life, you must care for your health. As you well know, your enjoyment of life is greatly dependent upon the state of your health. Your success in life is also dependent upon your health. And because your enjoyment of life and your success in life are dependent upon your health, you need to know how you can achieve maximum health. Over the next few minutes, you're going to learn how to do exactly that. You will listen to some of the most amazing and fascinating information you have ever heard or will ever hear. If you have an illness or a disease, you will learn the cause of it and what you should immediately do to start correcting it. If you are fortunate enough to be in good health, you will learn how to raise your energy and stamina to a level about which others only dream. The first thing you must learn in order to achieve maximum health is that most everything you have been taught about health is erroneous. It's just plain, flat out wrong. Shocking? People were shocked when they learned the earth wasn't flat. People were also shocked when they learned the earth revolved around the sun. Progress is always shocking. If you doubt that most everything you know about health is erroneous, consider this. The number of cases of all degenerative diseases has increased each year for the last 80 years. With all of the scientific advances of this century, you'd think we'd be winning the war against disease. But we're losing, and we're losing badly. Why is this? Is it due to a lack of funding for research? No. Is it due to a lack of effort by our brightest minds? No. The continuous regression of our nation's health is due to one reason, and one reason only. Science and medicine believe we live in a chemical universe. And because science and medicine believe we live in a chemical universe, science and medicine are killing us with chemicals. Progress is always shocking. Each day, some new chemical is introduced into your environment. As a result, you live in a world that's never existed before. Prior to the 20th century, the Earth's environment had essentially remained the same. The air was clean, the water was pure, and food was grown organically. Compare that environment to today's environment. Your air is chemically polluted with everything from car exhausts to household cleansers. Chemical fertilizers and chemical pesticides are used to grow your fruits, vegetables, and grains. Hormones and antibiotics are given to your beef and poultry. Your fish are contaminated with mercury. You eat processed food, canned food, and microwaved food, and you have over 5,000 toxins in your drinking water. All of those chemicals are having an effect on your health, a devastating effect. Everything you eat, drink, and breathe is saturated with chemicals, are caused by the food you eat, the water you drink, and the air you breathe. All of this business about chemicals was originated 2,500 years ago by a fellow named Democritus. Democritus hypothesized there was some basic chemical substance from which all things were formed. He didn't know what it was, so he called it the building block of life. Democritus was hailed as a genius for pointing science in a new direction. And unfortunately for your health, science has been traveling in that direction ever since. Democritus searched diligently for his chemical substance, but he never found it. So the scientific community continued the search after his death. It took them over 2,000 years, but they finally found Democritus's chemical building block. It turned out to be the atom. After the noise and celebration over the discovery of the atom had died down, science told us the atom was made up of positive and negative electrical charges. That should cause you to pause and think. If we truly live in a chemical universe, and our universe is made up of chemical building blocks called atoms, if that seems strange to you, here's something even stranger. No one has ever seen any chemical substance inside this so-called chemical building block. That's right. Even with the most powerful microscopes, no one has ever seen it. If you're wondering how this double standard can exist, it's because this figment of Democritus's imagination has been handed down from one scientific generation to the next for 2,500 years. It's ingrained into the belief system of science. It serves as the foundation for science. To remove it would bring down science's house of cards. Are you beginning to doubt whether or not you live in a chemical universe? You should doubt it because you don't live in a chemical universe. Science proves it by finding electrical charges inside its so-called chemical building block. Then science proceeds to shoot itself in the foot by insisting there's some chemical substance inside that building block. There's just one major problem. That chemical substance doesn't exist. That's why no one has ever seen it. Then why does science keep insisting it exists? Because science believes it exists. Just as science once believed the earth was flat and the sun revolved around the earth. Science's folly would be downright amusing except for one thing. It's dangerous and deadly to you. It's dangerous and deadly to you because science believes chemicals are the solution to our health problems. And because science believes chemicals are the solution to our health problems, science is the cause of our health problems. Progress is always shocking. Science isn't alone in its belief in a chemical universe. Medicine also believes in a chemical universe. And because medicine believes in a chemical universe, medicine believes it can cure our illnesses and diseases with chemicals. If chemicals are the solution to our health problems, then why is the health of our nation getting worse each year? As you have just learned, the number of cases of all degenerative diseases has increased each year for the last 80 years. 100 years ago, heart disease was relatively unknown. Now it's the #1 killer, accounting for 50% of all deaths. 30 years ago, we had no Alzheimer's. Between 1960 and 1982, the cancer rate doubled. In case you think it's improved since then, the New England Journal of Medicine recently suggested that science and medicine should look for ways to prevent cancer since they've been so unsuccessful at curing it. To continue, during the last 30 years, there's been a 700% increase in the number of diabetes patients. During that same period, the number of people suffering from kidney stones doubled. Between 1980 and 1994, the number of asthma patients also doubled. In the past 2 decades alone, more than 30 new diseases have been discovered. Is this medical progress? Would this persuade any rational person to believe that chemicals are the solution to our health problems?